Good morning, students and friends. Now, today I am going to read another question, and after reading this question, I will again explain this question. The question is: distinguish between external and internal evaluation with suitable examples. It was asked in June 2011 and June 2010. Or discuss the advantages and disadvantages of internal evaluation from the point of view of good learning by students, asked in December 2012. Or describe the advantages and disadvantages of internal evaluation. What measures should be taken to make it accurate and reliable? It was asked in June 2012. Or write short note on external and internal evaluation, need and importance. It was asked in June 2009. Now let's read. External evaluation. This is evaluation that is carried out by someone who is or was not directly involved in the development or operation of the system being evaluated, that is, by someone from out with the project team. Clearly, such an external evaluator has a number of advantages, bringing, it is to be hoped, objectivity, lack of vested interest, and the ability to look at matters from a fresh perspective. An external evaluator also has a number of disadvantages, however, most of which are related to relative value systems and to the lack of involvement the evaluator has had in project-related decisions. Such an evaluator may not, for example, fully appreciate why the development team chose to act in a particular way or appreciate the thinking that lay behind certain decisions. The project team may also feel threatened by the evaluator and feel that alien values or a negative nitpicking approach are being adopted. Internal evaluation. This is evaluation that is carried out by someone from the actual project team. Clearly, such an evaluator has the advantage of understanding fully the thinking behind the development, together with an appreciation of any problems that may have arisen, and should also command the trust and cooperation of the other members of the team. On the other hand, such an evaluator may find it difficult to make any criticism of the work carried out, and because of their close involvement with the project, may be unable to suggest any innovative solutions to such problems that are identified. Such an internal evaluator will know only too well how the members of the group have struggled to produce their course, curriculum or package, and may shrink from the thought of involving them in some work. Program evaluation fall into two categories: internal, conducted by the program staff, or external, conducted by someone outside the organization. Advantages and disadvantages of internal evaluation. An internal evaluation is conducted by the program's leadership or staff. While it can be comprehensive in nature, more typically it is targeted to one or more specific areas within a program and often is part of a program's continual improvement process. An internal evaluation is almost always a formative evaluation. One of the main advantages of an internal evaluation is flexibility. The timing of the evaluation can be whatever is convenient for the internal staff that will complete the evaluation. The scope of the evaluation can easily be set as narrow or broad as desired and adjusted as needs change. Finally, there is no monetary cost for the evaluation work. However, it is important to realize that an internal evaluation has an opportunity cost, as the staff working on the evaluation have less time to work on other projects. One of the main disadvantages of an internal evaluation is that the program staff may not have expertise in evaluation design and methods. One solution to this problem is to utilize the second type of program evaluation and external evaluation to design evaluation processes and instruments that can then be utilized in future internal evaluation work. Advantages and disadvantages of external evaluation. As the name implies, an external evaluation is conducted by one or more people that are not part of online learning program. Typically, the people conducting an external evaluation have specific expertise in program evaluation in addition to expertise in online learning. External evaluations may be either formative or summative in nature. Quality online learning programs will have a formative external evaluation completed on a regular schedule, typically at least every 3 to 5 years. There are several important advantages of external evaluations. First of all, they are viewed with greater validity since the person conducting the evaluation is not part of the online learning program. Secondly, an external person brings a new perspective and can identify issues that internal program staff miss because they are too close to the situation. The main disadvantages of an external evaluation are the cost of the evaluation and the time required to make sure the evaluator has sufficient understanding of the online learning program to conduct an effective evaluation. Criteria for external evaluation. When examinations are organized and conducted by an agency other than the institution giving instruction to students, and all the students of a group of institutions come together under the purview of the agency, the assessment carried out is regarded as an external assessment. To this extent, the public examinations in our country as conducted by the appropriate school boards are meant for external assessment. In such public examinations, the teachers concerned do not get directly involved in the process of evaluation. Ordinarily, such public examinations are not conducted with a specific objective in view. Thus, a public examinations may be conducted and the results of such an examination utilized for a large number of purposes. Actual testing is restricted to a candidate answering a question paper or a series of question papers, each within a set time limit. Also, when the exams are conducted by the same institution which teaches but tests are prepared and marked by persons other than the one who teach the group, the evaluation is called external. Thus, when the teacher who teaches is not involved in the evaluation process, the evaluation should be called external. Next is the criteria for internal evaluation. At present, external examinations are equated only public examinations. Equated to with, it is written here, equated with only public examinations which become the basis certification of students. All other examinations which come under the purview of the school are deemed internal examinations. This notion is based on the criterion of the agency conducting the examinations. From this, it follows that examinations within a school are internal assessment, whether conducted by an outside person or a teacher who does not even teach that particular class or a section. This view does not seem to hold ground because in all these cases, the examiner is not connected with the instructional process of the students who are being evaluated. The criterion indeed is the knowledge on the part of the evaluator of what has been taught and how it has been taught. It is only the class teacher teaching the subject who is aware of this fact. If an examiner is unaware of the unit, the objectives set in advance, as also the learning experiences provided to the students, she is not in a position to evaluate them properly. Therefore, internal evaluation is the one in which the evaluator is the one who teaches the students. All other types of evaluations, whether done in public or in a school, inside or outside the school, by a teacher of the same school or from different school, are all external evaluations. Thus, the three criteria for an internal evaluation are direct involvement in the teaching learning activities of the class, setting of the question paper by the class teacher, teaching teaching that classes, and conduct of the examination vis-a-vis evaluation of scripts by the teacher himself, herself. Where these conditions are not fulfilled, the examination should be called external. So this is like this. And next it is given, should the assessment be by internal assessors or external assessors? So this is an area in which most individual teachers do not have much choice. External assessment is the norm in public examinations. These are set and marked by external agents, examination boards, and are mainly intended for external users, university, selectors, employers, and in a more general sense, the public and their elected representatives in local and central government. External examinations are seen as validation courses, and their influence on the curriculum as profound. To a limited extent, public examinations also use teachers as assessors. A few teachers are involved as paid employees of examination boards in setting examinations, but not necessarily do the teachers assess their own students. The teacher concerned has always been regarded as the best judge of a student. Based on this principle, internal assessment of students by teachers of the institution concerned has been adopted in some institutions in our country and elsewhere. In an internal assessment, it is necessary that a variety of tests are administered and proper statistical weightage given to each, and then an overall grading arrived at as a true index of the capabilities of a student. Further, there can be room for prejudice. There can be occasions when the student is not in the best of spirits. Taking all such factors into account, it may be necessary to resort to an overall average of a student's performance over a period of time, like 2 or 3 years. Thus, a senior grading may be based on the overall grading of the performances of the student during her last 2 years at school. There are also other questions relevant to internal assessment. If a class has 4 divisions and each division is taught by a different teacher, what will be the procedure adopted to realize the uniformity in the procedure adopted and the assessment between our subject and another? Is uniformity essential? Such and many other problem exists. Even an internal assessment requires continued research to improve its reliability and validity. If internal assessments are made for general purposes, it becomes necessary to make the results of one institution comparable with those of others. A way out for realizing some uniformity is being attempted. In this attempt, techniques are being developed for external moderation. It is felt that internal assessment subjected to external moderation can give results which are as satisfactory or even more satisfactory than those of public examinations. However, other views have also been expressed. It is felt that the results of internal assessment and the results at public examinations with question papers having questions of different types should both be utilized for furnishing the results of students. In another view, the results of internal assessment and of public examination should both be furnished to the candidates separately in the certificates issued to them. The latter view receives support from the fact that an internal assessment should desirably not be limited to just the scholastic characteristics only. In such a case, the teacher's overall estimate of a student can definitely be different from the estimate obtained through a public examination. The internal assessment can be both continuous as well as comprehensive. Internal assessment and internal syllabus do not necessarily go together. It is possible to assess the performance in an external syllabus by internal means. For example, project work in a technology course of computer studies or field work in geography may be internally assessed. Similarly, an internal syllabus may be assessed by a local consortium of teachers working on an agreed marking scheme, which in principle is a form of external assessment. Internal assessment of an internally devised syllabus brings great freedom of choice and opportunities to do such things as fieldwork projects, simulations, drama, and practical work. It allows teachers to use their intimate and detailed knowledge of the work of individual pupils across a wide range of activities and objectives over a long period of time. There are dangers, not least that the teacher's judgments may be subjective or lack standardization. The new freedom imposes new disciplines on a teacher and demands familiarity with new assessment techniques. Internal assessment may be conducted for in-school purposes, for example, to decide who follows which course, or it may be mainly for the information of the teacher and his or her pupil. It is even possible to completely internalize assessment. A pupil's self-assessment may be purely private affair or may be fostered in a non-judgmental way by a teacher solely for the benefit of the pupil or for outside agencies like employees and universities. It is possible to make an impartial, disciplined subjective evaluation by a teacher for his or her students, and it may be more reliable and valid in testing the instructional objectives. When internal assessment is used in schools, it can do a lot that external assessment cannot. The latter can only be used to test the learning outcomes of the cognitive domain by and large, while internal tests can be used for assessing the learning outcomes in affective and psychomotor domains too. Since the teacher himself herself is the assessor, continuous and comprehensive testing is possible, and so an evaluation including in all domains is not difficult. And then, now the reading is over. So now I will again explain it into two parts, this question, because the answer is very large, and I will upload it very soon. Okay, thank you. Take care by then.